Hey, Awesomes again. Still in Oklahoma City. Still sitting in the exact same spot I was before at my buddy's house here. And actually, technically, again, I'm in Edmond, Oklahoma, but greater metro Oklahoma City. Anyway, not that you care. So I'm heading back to Detroit tomorrow. Um, but I've already posted the week discussions for this week. So I want to review that with you, help you think about what you might consider for responses, replies, whatever, to this week's post with audience and purpose. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm on I just happen to be in 34956. Again, just as a friendly reminder, go if you're CRNs 34956, please use that one. If you're in 35016, please use that one. They're both the same, just it makes it easier to keep the class here. All right, so excuse me. So chapter 4 discusses why the concepts of audience and purpose are vitally important in every kind of writing. In fact, any kind of communication. The audience and purpose for any project you work on will determine the information you include and the tone and the style that you use. Now, recall, Markel talks at length about those. So please pay attention to those things, because when you're making your post for this week, I'd like you to get into kind of the style and the tone that he talks about. So we're going to talk about audience and purpose for every single project that you work on in this class. So chapter 4 is a foundation kind of for the rest of this course. It always, as I think I said in the overview video for this week, it always comes back down to audience and purpose. Even your project 1A, we will talk about more and more and more that you don't just make one resume for every single audience, right? Every single job posting that you get is a new audience, right? And even depending on the job's specific specifications and the qualifications, your purpose may even change a little bit. So we'll talk more about that. All right, so I kind of quote in here and put in here, I found a really good synopsis here from chapter 4. So for audience, who are your readers? Why is your readers? Why is your audience reading your document? What are your readers' attitudes and expectations? And how will your readers use your document? All right. Then we have some 4 questions for purpose that Markel gives us. Why is the reader reading your document? How will the reader read your document? What is the reader's reading skill level? And what is the physical environment in which the reader will read your document? So when you think about purpose, right, you think about physical environment, you talk about a print versus an online. I know that's kind of interesting for us to kind of think about, because that's essentially what I'm asking you to kind of do, is think about how your audience is going to read your documents and your purpose for those in a print environment versus an online environment. And recall last week we read, I think in chapter 7, we talked about designing online versus print documents. So you may refer back to, I believe it's chapter 7 in Markel in combination with chapter 4 to help us think about the different audiences and maybe even look more specifically the purposes for how we're going to submit or how we're going to put our professional website, right? How we're going to put our professional persona and our professional appearance, right? That's going to be more of a, here is me in a nutshell versus the individual print ones. And I say print, meaning those ones that you design and you send maybe as attachments. That's what we're kind of referring to with print. I know that they're still electronic, or online per se, but in this case, where the distinction between print versus online is the print one is the one that you design, save as a PDF, and then you submit to company A, B, or C, right? Your online document is your professional website, right? That's where you will have a standard, if you will, constantly changing, excuse me, constantly in flux online resume. You'll have examples of your projects. You may have some sample cover letters that could give potential employers an understanding of how you're presenting yourself out there. And so you want to think about the purpose. So these questions help you make decisions about the information in writing projects as well. So this is going to, as was referenced earlier, this kind of help you really start to think about, think about reading level, how much of your industry jargon, or how much of the kinds of anachronisms or other things like that you may use, right? Acronyms that you might use or whatever, in speaking to a specific audience. Are they going to be familiar with some of the language that you're using? So as this summary indicates, audience and purpose are incredibly important. So I'm starting right here. For each and every technical document you will write, not only for this is going to extend to every single thing we do the rest of this course, from memos that you write to the culminating project at the end of the semester. but also every technical document you will write in your professional career. For this week's post, I'd like for you to consider the different audiences and purposes to which you are writing your resumes and cover letters. Also consider how you will consider audience and purpose for your Project 1B professional website. So use the audience questions listed above to consider the different audiences between your print and your online resume. So this is what I talked about a second ago. So some of the clearest distinctions are going to be how you might think about thinking about some of these questions, right? And you might hone in on one specifically, okay? Don't necessarily have to answer every single one of them, but you might think about your attitudes and the expectations of an online versus a print resume, right? What is the physical environment in which the reader will read your document, right? So if you're more than likely, if you're sending in your PDF through to, let's say, through monster.com or whatever, you can imagine someone's probably going to be on a computer screen or whatever. Maybe they print them out. There's two different things that may happen there. Your online resume is going to be in your online professional website is going to be in the form more of a website. So there's going to be a different level of expectation when someone's on your website. There's going to be an expectation of maybe more hyperlinks, right? Or some click-throughs, as we might say, to help them navigate, right? They're going to want to navigate the different things that you're doing in a different way than reading or think about the 20-second test, right? Or quadranting, right? That's specifically for the print, right? You're going to see that page. And when you transfer that from that to the online environment, you're now going to be thinking about, all right, how is it displayed? How is it? Is it easy to follow? You're going to really start thinking about in your professional website navigation. Can they read it? Can they still scan it, right? Do I still have the affordances of, making bullet points bold? And then if I'm going to reference things on my resume, can they click and see other things, not only within my website, but can I do like some click throughs that like lets them go see, okay, here's what I went to state at Wayne State. I worked on this one project. Maybe that big project, it's got its own standalone website. So click to that and let them see that kind of interactivity. It also shows a certain level of seriousness and professionalism on your part. So we'll talk about those two things. You want to talk about audience, okay, as we just kind of discussed, and then you think about purpose between your print and online resume. So here, right, physical environment, which we were just discussing, purpose, right, especially between your print. There's a lot of distinguishing factors between those two. So as per usual, by Friday, make sure that you put your initial post right here, okay, where it says leave a reply. Just enter your comment right there. And then as people start to leave their post, then by Sunday, just read 2 of them. And I'd like to kind of think about giving a reply and just kind of, again, like we've done before, continue to further the discussion about audience and purpose and think about the things that your fellow classmates are saying and extend that conversation, right? So if someone is speaking about the difference between print and an online document and you read that and you think, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Let them know that that's a really, really cool idea and concept, and then how you might be able to like extend that. Ask questions too. Hey, I like what you said there. What do you think about this thing? Right? Not necessarily have to be answered, but questions are a good way to think about extending conversations. So, and you guys are awesome at that. So I hope this helps you think about that. You probably, I'm always responding to emails. Tomorrow's a pretty lengthy travel day, but I'll have my phone with me all day. But I probably won't post any videos or any other type, maybe Blackboard announcements and stuff like that, probably till at least Thursday. So I wish you all a most wonderful week. Please do let me know if there's anything I can do to help you or to answer any more questions you have about this for this week. And then we're going to, I'll once I get back to Detroit, I'll really start talking about screencasting over the weekend and really help us make that transition to think about the screencast will be something I'm pretty sure will be relatively new to you. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you for your patience this week. Again, I sincerely apologize for these coming out today instead of yesterday. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.